This is January 15th, 2022. I'm in Port Kells and it's 4:30 in the morning and I gotta be in Delta to meet my partner for a job on a Saturday morning, and this thing breaks down again. I've had it since 2013. I've spent over $20,000 to keep it running without doing preventative maintenance, just to keep it running. And just about had it with this truck. I've only put 55,000 K on it. It's going to take me 8 weeks and $2,000 to get it running again. And at this point, I've just about had it with this truck, and I'm thinking of finding another solution. And the idea of fixing up another RV is not sitting well with me. It's just the idea of working on a motorhome or an RV is just traumatizing. So I bought this truck. It wasn't running, and I figured I'd take a chance on it. I certainly wasn't going to go the route that wasn't working, so I bought this truck. I couldn't find anybody to park it in the yard and fix the motor or keep it in their shop to fix the motor, so I popped the motor out. And then I couldn't find anybody to work on the motor, and so I called 99 Truck Parts in Surrey, and I said, "You got a motor in stock?" And they said no, but call this guy. So I went to Dillon Trucks in Surrey, and they fixed the motor. They put a new oil cooler on it and a new turbo. So basically I had this truck up and running by June 1st. June 1st. So then I started driving the Ford again more regularly and resuming work on my new motorhome I'm building when this happened, which was August 1st, 2022, when the Ford finally died for the last time. I was just not going to spend another penny on it. So I had it towed to the shop. I already had the flat deck up and running. All I had to do was get it to the shop. And so what I did for this would have been this ride right here is like 2 o'clock in the morning. So that would be actually August 2nd, back to the shop. And I had to work the next day. So that was another breakdown, not a good start to the week. So I got it back to the shop, and then I went and got the flat deck. I got it back to the shop on Tuesday, and then I spent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday working on the motorhome. Worked on disconnecting the motorhome from the drivetrain of the Ford. So I took off the brake pedals and the steering column, any little lines I could do. Basically anything I could do during the week that didn't make the parking lot at work look like a junkyard. So I kind of just prepped as much as I could. I had to get insurance on the flat deck and that sort of thing. But basically, by Saturday morning, I was ready for the big dissection or amputation of the Vanna motorhome. Here I get the driver pulling into the yard, dropping it off the deck. The last time Vanna's going to ride on her own tires. And I just got him to hook up his winch, and I pulled it up into a spot where it'd be convenient to work on. Like I say, this is Tuesday morning, like 3 in the morning or something crazy like that. Nice summer day. Actually went well. BCAA was you gotta wait 4 hours. They sent the wrong tow truck at first. We need to work on that BCAA. Like, just have the tow truck company call me and I can send them a picture, because they sent the wrong tow truck at first, even though I had informed them as much as I could about what they'd be towing. So yeah, it took a lot longer than expected. I think they actually ended up with a towing company out of Langley, and I was out by Chilliwack. So here's the last look at Vanna before she gets lobotomized. And here this is Saturday morning. I'm just butchering it up. Drop differential, fuel tank. I already drained the fuel out of the tank. I put that in the telehandler. You see I zippy cut with the grinder, disconnected the front clip, just chopped as much away as I could. Nothing, not like it would ever be reconnected or put back together. Here you see I got the, pulled up the flat deck, lined it up, threw the motor in this buddy's trailer. He took away the trash. That would have been Sunday morning, but here it is. That's what it kind of looked like Sunday morning. And this is one of my first trips. I went to the park, and so I'm parked in the park, and I'm just working on the computer or whatever, and then Methany and Tweaker Tim show up, pulled up right in front of the motorhome, and they got out, opened the trunk, and then Tweaker Tim, he come around to the passenger side against the bush and opens the door, looking left and right, didn't bother to look in, and basically said, what the hell do you want? Well, I thought it was an abandoned vehicle on a flat deck being towed. I said, so what? So what right do you have to just go into people's vehicles, and then it just became a soap opera. But he was all ready to just, clean me out. But the thing was, their car looked so nice and clean and stuff, you'd never thought that they were a couple of people going around ripping people off. So I thought that was pretty good cover. You never know what they're going to look like. You could tell they were tweakers when they got out of the car, just the way they walk and act, but still, never would have guessed. So this is what it looks like by the end of September. I had it all insulated, ready for winter, and so that was good. It was really good, as it turns out, because I guess the last day of September, we got sent up to Fort St. James to work on the Site C dam. This is a power line out in a remote area. We had built some stuff for hydro that needed to be repaired. This is like the nicest job ever. Like, it was just beautiful up there, 20 degrees, bears, moose, deer, you name it. It was just wonderful. It was nice to be up there at this time of year. It was perfect weather. It was a great job. This doesn't get any better than this in the trades. It was wonderful being up there. So basically, these frames are engineered. They're commonly used by hydro, and so normally they're painted with epoxy paint, but they wanted these ones galvanized because they were going to be right on the edge of the water, and so they weren't engineered with galvanizing in mind. So what happened was we had these frames galvanized, and they weigh, I think, 18,000 pounds, so they're pretty heavy. And some of the holes are full of galvanized. So we were sent up there. We got the notice on a Friday morning, so we were actually on a job down on the coast already that day, and we got done that job around 2 o'clock, back to the shop, and then we had to come up with solutions to figure out how to drill a 3/8 hole through 28 inches of galvanized metal. And so we had all kinds of things with us. One of the solutions was to come up with this, well, first of all, find 1 3/8 drill bits. And we got those while we were on the coast before we drove up. And then Henry, he's one of the fellas at the shop there, he came up with this extended bid idea, which I was on the same page with him, and he had those ready by the end of the day Friday. So we had the ability to drill 28 inches of hole. And you can see that once in a while the drill jams up. So it's a pretty nasty thing. And this drill weighs 62 pounds. It's got a lot of torque. It's about as heavy as it gets when portable mag drills. It's a nice drill, Milwaukee drill. So here you see we got one of the extensions on already, and because the hole is a blind hole, we have to blow out the chips, or the chips just stay in the bottom, and then the bit just spins on the chips. So you got to get the hole clean. You can go down like an inch at a time. So every hole takes like 2 hours to get through. So we're going through this process. It takes a long time, but it's working, so that's all that matters. And this would be a Tuesday the 4th. And you'll notice that I'm standing on the right side of the drill. And it's going quite well. But so on Thursday the 6th, while we were working on another frame, this happens. I was standing on the left side of the drill, and the bit jammed, and the magnetic hold of the magnetic drill press let go, and the energy was directed right into my left wrist and broke my arm. Basically, we were 5 feet up, so I did some gymnastics, falling to the ground there, dodging all those bolts sticking out. So yeah, that wasn't the best day ever. Man, it was a really nice job up until that time. Man, it was a nice job. So yeah, anyway, I kind of fell to the ground there, and it was kind of funny because I had broke my glasses, had some blood around my nose, and I got basically dragged myself over to the truck, and Sergey's with me, and he was just having his coffee when this happened, so he saw it all happen. And then he's like, "Oh, you got some blood on your face," and I'm like, yeah, that's no big deal. And broken glasses, and he's like, "Well, what else is wrong?" I said, "Well, I can feel a lot of blood on my left shin. There's blood there." And I said, "Oh, I can feel some bruised ribs, but I don't think they're cracked, and that's not such a big deal. But I'm worried about this wrist." And I show him the wrist, and it's like 90 degrees. Well, it looks more like a Z. He was like, "Yeah, this ain't good," but I can't feel a thing. Like, it hasn't really sunk in yet. So off to the hospital we went, and then so that happened. I broke my wrist, and then I got back home, and then my propane fridge broke. So I had already bought this 24 volt compressor fridge, so I had to switch that. So that's another thing that broke. Yeah, it was just one of those years. So all of this is happening. Everything's breaking. And soon after I got the fridge sorted out, and my cast came off in December. But in the meantime, the flat deck broke down. Basically, I blew the head gasket. Fortunately, it was on the exhaust side of things. So I managed to get going till this is this would be February. No, this is March 3rd was the last time the flat deck I drove it. By March 3rd of 2023, it was done. It wasn't going anywhere anymore. Fortunately, I knew that was going to happen, so I bought this minivan, and that's what I'm going with now. So I have the truck parked. The flat deck deal cost me $20,000, and it was a waste of time. I'm not spending another dime on the flat deck. Really, what I should have done in hindsight was just gone with my saved up $20,000 and bought a brand new flat deck and financed it. But oh well. So yeah, I'm all ready to go. I got the minivan going. The flat deck's gonna stay where it is till the boss kicks me out of the yard, and I'm running back and forth to Chilliwack from Abbotsford as much as possible to work on my new motorhome and see where we are by the end of summer. And that's where we're at.